What's coming in 2027? We are live. That's right, y'all. We are doing it different now. We are making sure many of you are understanding of what we are discussing. Okay? So, while we make some food, let's check up on that. And let's get y'all in the house. Because what's coming in 2027 is going to be something a lot of people ain't gonna understand, but we are going to let y'all know. All right? We're gonna let y'all know what's coming in 2027. So, we're gonna watch a few things. Let's actually go to that so y'all can get ready. This supposedly
and accelerate progress. The next step, which they've already begun, is to look.
Let's go back.
$2 million.
Let's go back.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone, and it replaces 3 different chargers.
So yeah, before we get, everybody all tied up in this world of what you call, we don't know where we're going in this world in terms of technology, the space that we all understand that is this AI space that is about to take shape, right? So we have to know. So, welcome in the house, y'all. Welcome in the house. So the truth of the matter is, there's a lot coming down the pipeline. And if we don't be careful, we will all be in a lot of stuff, a lot of problems. So we're going to let y'all know, give y'all some insight from scripture-wise and from the world of technology and science so that y'all can get a hang of it so you can see exactly what the show is about. This is the show that's called It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. Get ready, because it is bigger than hip hop, y'all. So before we play that, we're going to let y'all know that it is bigger than hip hop so y'all can realize. Let's start the show, all right? Let's put that up. It's bigger than hip hop, y'all. Family, we're about to go into Jacob's trouble because a lot of people don't realize and they're wasting time. So we're going put y'all into alignment so y'all can understand. No more wasting time. All right? Like the king said, it's bigger than hip hop. So let's get it on.
What happened to the love?
Get ready. Again.
Y'all should never have it.
Thank you for joining the live.
So much.
Subscribe. That's right.
It's love. And we run the world. That's right. Nobody understand. Legacy. Let's take your hand back. Check it out. Yo, let me introduce myself. You know Moses Anomaly. This shit is biblical. Bigger than hip hop. We about to rip the game up. Rebirth it. Bring it back alive again. Just said the game been dead, but it's all good. 2026, I own this bitch. Now the game got locked. Every hater wanna talk. They think about the game like it's some kind of monopoly. But we ain't playing games no more. About to take it to the globe. Top of the world. Take Coca-Cola out of business. We got hip-hop to go remix beverages. Many flavors to make sure you're hydrated. We ain't playing games. No more time to talk to these haters, I'm a brand. I ain't got time for you, I set trends. That's right, off the top. Time for her panties to get ripped off. Yeah, that's right, beat it up. Ladies again, now she said, the kid is my son. But I said, the kid ain't my son. Let's do this, but I take care of him, bring him back in the game, so I can lift him up, bring that rain. You know, when Machiavelli the Dawn told me, he done sparked the seed that will bring back the truth about our life. We run the streets, run the corporate world. We about to take the game up again. Too many haters, we got distribution. We don't need your institution. Jailing my brothers, for what? We about to get the stock market changed up. Game changer stocks. We about to lift up the world. Black everything. We ain't got time for haters no more. Fuck y'all.
That's right, y'all. That's right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show that you have been told and you are just not in tune. We are going to give you the truth about what's coming. 2027. That's right. Straight from scriptures, and also we're going to give you from the world. So let's go in right now to what's happening in 2027.
First interview?
All right?
No.
So let's
You might
get
want to prepare
started.
more. I've got an MBA, 10 years
Let's
in the
get
field. This role
started.
is
Let's
mine.
get started,
We'll
y'all.
see.
He risked everything
Tell us about yourself.
to warn
So I
us.
have an MBA from what's
about what's coming 2027.
for about 8 years.
Let's hear that.
The scary open secret
From
of
the
AI
diary
right
of a
now is that
CEO.
it's possible
Listen
that
with
we'll end
me,
up
y'all.
essentially creating a new species that ends up ruling the world with a 70% chance that this goes horribly wrong, like human extinction. That's one possibility. There's many more.
It's quite chilling what you're saying.
Yeah, it gets me down sometimes.
Listen with me. While I eat some food.
I basically told my wife.
Make sure you got your meal ticket and subscribe.
I don't think they'll
Make
end
sure
up
you
with
supporting me, and I'll support
Everybody
you.
should be afraid that the jobs are going to be lost.
That's how we
And I
gotta-
know this because I went to OpenAI.
Let me just stop you right there. The only way we're gonna make this work, folks, subscribers, you gotta subscribe. And when you support me, I support you. I see your subscription so that we can bring you the truth about what's coming so that you are aware. All right? Watchmen. We are the watchmen.
What I did there was forecasting as to what the next couple of years might look like. And unfortunately, most of the world is kind of asleep at the wheel and doesn't really realize what's going on with AI. So I resigned.
I read it somewhere that you lost $2
This guy
billion
worked for
not
OpenAI,
signing an
but he resigned.
anti-disparagement clause.
So
you
we
couldn't
watch.
criticize the company.
Yes, for reasons I'm happy to get into. But the main thing I've learned is that when I go talk to people at Anthropic and OpenAI about forecasting, they're like, it's not going to take that long. You need to shorten them again. Get them back to 2027 or 2028 because these powerful CEOs, Dario or Sam or Elon, are racing each other to be in control of the most powerful AIs and are literally afraid that if the other guy gets there first, he might become dictator. I mean, Anthropic is on track to be the entire economy by 2030. But none of these people should be trusted with that much power. So this is the most important thing happening in our lifetimes, probably in all of history, in fact. And it's very important that it go well. So I think that there's a lot we can do to steer things in a better direction. There's loads of benefits that we could get from AI if we do it right. And if we do solve the problems, then things could be absolutely amazing for everyone.
Well, this report here, 2021, it was remarkably accurate. And then you just published this one.
Yeah, so this is our new scenario.
So let's go through these slowly one at a time.
I would be incredibly happy if all my predictions turn out to be wrong.
If I were to talk to someone who was looking to implement NetSuite,
Right.
I would say you would never.
So let's pause it right there for a second. So this guy used to work for OpenAI. And, let's get the volume lower. He used to work for OpenAI, but now he quit because he wanted to sound the alarm about what's coming. And we're going to give y'all some biblical take because the famine that is being engineered is going to change everything that y'all don't realize by wasting time. All right? So let's continue.
This is super interesting to me. My team give me this report to show me how many of you that watch this show subscribe. And some of you have told us, according to this, that you are unsubscribed from the channel randomly. So favor to ask all of you, please could you check right now if you've hit the subscribe button, if you are a regular viewer of this show and you like what we do.
Yeah, that's
here.
right.
We're
Subscribe. We're watching the diary of a CEO.
Anthropic,
And then we're gonna
60x
switch.
growth in the end of the decade.
All right.
Significant. Spend a lot of time trying to create robots that can.
Let's go.
Well, let's talk about it. So, super intelligence.
Let's watch.
AIs
Watch
that
with
are
me.
better
Listen
than the
with
best
me.
humans
Just
at
listen.
everything,
Don't worry
while
about
also being
watching.
faster and cheaper.
You ain't
Also
seen
able
nothing
to
but people talking.
Operate robots that can do everything in the physical world that humans can do, but better, faster, and cheaper. If that really is coming in a few years, then we need to prepare and we need to think about how to make it go well instead of poorly. So that's sort of my answer. Is I'm doing that to the best of my ability.
So you believe it's coming in a few years?
Yes.
How could you be so sure?
I spend a lot of time trying to forecast this sort of thing. My sort of median estimate, 50% chance, is currently in 2029. Maybe it'll slip to 2028. It's possible that it'll take significantly longer, like maybe 10 years or something like that. But for reasons I'm happy to get into, seems to me like it's probably happening by the end of the decade. What's less important is the sense of how close we are. What's more important is the pace of the trends. Anthropic, this time last year, was making something like $1 billion a year, and now they're making something like $60 billion a year. So that's 60x growth in 1 year, which is extremely impressive even for very small startups, but for a company of their size, it might be the fastest growth in history. We expect that rate of growth to slow down, but even if it slows down quite a lot, they're still on track to be, the entire economy by 2030 or so.
Why should the average person care?
High level thing is absolutely everything is going to change for the whole world, and including therefore for them and their families. Could change for the better, could change for the worse, depending on the details of how it's done. So for example, everyone could die. This is the classic loss of control scenario, or one version of it. If we do build these super intelligences and we use them to automate all the jobs, and we put them in the military, and we have them giving advice to politicians and so forth, they will eventually have accumulated enough real world power that they don't need humans anymore. And they're smarter than us, they're more strategic, etc. At that point, we sort of have to hope that they are virtuous, that they have the goals that we wanted them to have, the values that we wanted them to have, etc. And the sort of scary open secret in the AI industry right now is that right now that is kind of just a hope. It's not something that we can be at all confident in. And in fact, there's lots of evidence and arguments that we're not on track to achieve that. So there's lots of reasons, like current AIs, for example, will often lie to people, or they'll you tell them to do something and they go do something else and then pretend that they did it, right? So it's an inherently difficult problem to make something that's super intelligent and also has the values and virtues that you want it to have. And it doesn't seem like we're on track to solve that problem. Also, it seems like the sort of problem that you could think you solved when you haven't actually solved it, right? That's a big reason why this is scary. So for all those reasons, it's possible that we'll end up essentially creating a new species that ends up ruling the world instead of us. And
Let's stop it right there for a second, y'all. I have to get the hot sauce so I can understand that, if you're eating food, you don't got your hot sauce. You ain't got it right. You don't got that ghost pepper. Oh man, you ain't eating right. So basically, this guy's saying a new species will be coming 2027. No, man, ain't no new species. You just don't understand that we're waking up and we're going to be changed and activated, and we're going to be working the AI and controlling the world by 2030, 2032 to 2033. So at the end of the day, the future belongs to us. But we're going to continue. By 2040, we already take over the world, believe me. But then every hater want to fight. That's when everything going to go all out of control.
And maybe we go the way of other extinct
we're gonna
species in
continue.
the past that were outcompeted by humans. That's one possibility. There's many more. Even if you're not worried about that and you think that the AIs will be totally controlled, there's the question of who controls the AIs, right? When there's a couple corporations that have made these super intelligences and are using them to automate all the jobs, well, that's a lot of power, It's a lot of money, it's a lot of political power. They'll have the best strategists, the best advisors, they'll think faster. Militarily, the countries that has these AIs will be able to absolutely wipe the floor with all the other countries. The AIs themselves, it's kind of a single point of failure, like central control system where, the CEO of Anthropic, Dario, he coined this phrase, the country of geniuses in the data center. That was his phrase to describe what they're trying to build, I think that's a little bit misleading. I think it would be more accurate to describe it as army of geniuses in the data center, because it's not like it's a bunch of diverse different AIs, living in their different parts of the data center. They're all copies of the same big model and are owned by the company. And so they all follow the orders given by the company, right?
See, that's the problem right there. They always thinking of everything as a monopoly. Got to build, and destroy. No. There's more coming out of the motherland. We got something called Benefit Diamond phone. That's a cellular phone that has holographic We don't need to have this currency of what you call AI taking over anything, because we're gonna be controlling AI. So let's continue.
People should be asking questions of like, who controls this army or these armies, and what are they going to be doing
You
with
can
them?
answer all the questions
I think
you
that we
want,
could very easily end
but
up
you
in
don't gonna know
sort of,
the truth because you don't believe.
a situation where some tiny group of people are essentially oligarchs or dictators. And ironically, both of these risks, the loss of control and the concentration of power, are things that people in the industry have been thinking about for decades. Even before the AI industry existed, people thinking about AI were talking and writing about these things. And then part of the founding narrative or the founding myth of DeepMind and OpenAI and Anthropic is these problems are real, so we need to get there first.
Oh,
so
they're
that we
real,
can
all right.
handle it responsibly.
We're gonna let you know
Those
the
are, I think, the
biblical
big two reasons,
perspective.
but then I
after.
can go on. There's lots more reasons as well. So one thing is, World War III, geopolitical conflict. If AI does in fact get incredibly powerful, that's going to change the balance of power between nations. That's going to disrupt a lot of things. That puts us at increased risk of crisis more generally, right? Another one, what about those jobs? You're going to lose your taxi job, but not just the taxi job, for everybody, pretty much. There might be a few exceptions, like people whose jobs, for legal reasons, are only allowed to be done by humans. But for the most part, everybody should be afraid that their jobs are going to be lost, even if we manage.
Listen, the jobs is already lost. These people have a way where they always have this foolishness of nepotism up and down elevator. There's no innovation being done anymore because people are not using their mind. They're trying to rely on AI, but they don't realize AI is made for the young guys, for the young people to take control of the world and control this thing that everybody want to call politics, but yet it's supposed to be community. There's no such thing as politics without community. And that's the clown nature that we're observing right now, but let's continue.
All the other problems, right?
This narrative has started to emerge, and I've had several interviews on the show where I've interviewed people who are very, very scared and anxious about AI. And these are people that have worked in the industry for sometimes decades.
Yeah.
The counter narrative coming over the hill is that this is doomerism, that these people are, for whatever reason, just trying to scare people and that they don't really understand what they're talking about. How do you
Well, let me stop you right there, sir. It's not doomerism. They know what the Bible says. They know what the scripture says. But they're trying to correlate it and figure out how is this going to happen if us folks are not involved in anything AI much or anything that's happening. But that's what y'all don't understand. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay, we've been here. Y'all just showed up here in the party and y'all want to pretend you're controlling things, but you're going to see the change. No doubt. That's all we got to say. Let's continue.
that sort of counter narrative? And you must have seen this emerging yourself, especially from.
And when I say y'all, I'm talking about the so-called elite, because we are the poor. And if you're part of the poor, you're also part of the poor. If you're part of the elite, we're coming after y'all, taking y'all out of competition. Ain't no more monopolies. That's all we trying to tell y'all. AI is the equalizer before the Undertaker comes. Take
You
out the
stand to
fools.
benefit, dare I say.
Yeah, exactly. This counter narrative is fairly recent, and it's been pushed by the people who stand to benefit from it. And it's not true. Like these concerns have been around for decades, since before the AI industry existed. They're actually pretty reasonable concerns. Like if you take the companies at their word and imagine that they are in fact going to build superintelligence, well, it raises a lot of questions, like who's going to control it? Will anybody control it? What about the jobs? These are just kind of obvious implications to be thinking about and worrying about.
Who are you and what's your story?
My name is Daniel Cucatello. I currently run the AI Futures Project, which is a small nonprofit that mostly focuses on forecasting the future of AI. Before that, I worked at OpenAI.
AI forecasting.
Yeah, so think about how industry analysts who work for hedge funds and stuff will make these forecasts of here's, how many cars Tesla will be selling 5 years from now, or here's what the price of electricity will be in 2 years, right? That's forecasting. I was doing that, but specifically focused on AI. The reason I was doing it is because
Man, these so-called forecasters, you ain't forecasted nothing. Everything that's happening is happening because of these forecasters that want to just give these oligarchs predictions, which are not predictions, just to fatten up their pockets. But I mean, he ran out because there's a reason. Let's continue. Subscribe. Make sure y'all follow me because we about to get more interesting things going.
it's incredibly important to see where
Moses
this is all
Vision
headed.
TV.
Why did you go to OpenAI? What did you do there? What did you observe?
Well, there's no
while you were
vision.
there?
The
And how
people
did it change your
perish.
perspective on the future of AI, but also, I guess, OpenAI as a company? And for anybody that doesn't know, OpenAI are the company that produced ChatGPT.
Yeah, so I went to OpenAI in 2022. A large part of what I did there was more forecasting. AI 2027 is a scenario that you may have heard of. I did like smaller, lower effort versions of them internally for just internal circulation of like, here's some guesses as to what the next couple of years might look like. I also worked on evaluations for dangerous capabilities. So, trying to measure the AI's cyber abilities or persuasion abilities or situational awareness. And I also briefly was on a capabilities team doing reinforcement learning to create agents. AI is in fact getting a lot better, and I can say more about why. Scaling laws, deep
Subscribe
neural
and
nets,
like.
bigger, trained on more data, become more efficient, more competent at those things. I also became a bit more disillusioned with the AI industry. So OpenAI, Anthropic, and DeepMind all had these sort of founding narratives of like, yes, these risks are real, but we've thought about them and we're going to try to handle them responsibly. And that's why it's important for us to keep doing what we're doing. And I increasingly came to think that these were rationalizations to justify what they were doing rather than sort of like deeply guiding their actual behavior, and that when push comes to shove, they'll follow their incentives rather than do what's actually good.
So you're inside OpenAI at the time, and you start to believe that they're following commercial incentives versus the, I guess, social or societal incentives that they founded themselves on.
Sort of. I mean, I wouldn't actually describe it as commercial incentives. I think I would describe it as power-seeking incentives. So, like, it's true that the companies care a lot about making a lot of money, but especially at the very top of these companies, like the leaders.
I'm gonna stop it right there for now. We're gonna continue in about 10 seconds. The truth of the matter is, if money is printed, why is the made or legacy of a man that has no clue when life ends or when anything go happen in your life care about money so much? To me, that's a foolish man. Let's make something that changes the world and create autonomy and create benefit, autonomy, rights, policy. Something that's going to make everybody benefit. Because what the hell is the point if you're only here for 60 to 80 to 90, 100 years maybe, and you trying to cause a whole lot of hell? Ain't nobody wants you here.
They understand that this is about more than just money, There are these emails that came up in, the lawsuit between Musk and OpenAI. A bunch of emails were surfaced in that lawsuit, which you can go read. And in some of them, the founders of OpenAI were talking back in like 2017 about how the reason why we made OpenAI was because we were worried that Demis Hassabis at Google was going to become dictator with AGI. Even back then, this is obviously about more than just money. Like these powerful CEOs are literally afraid that if the other guy gets there first, he might become dictator. And they don't trust each other. And so that's why they are racing as hard as they can so that they're the ones who get there first.
Ridiculous.
So to speak.
Such a
Have you
ridiculous
met
nature.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
And did that shape your
I'm
opinion
worried
of
about
his
the other
incentives
guy
or why
having
he's doing
the
what he's
girl
doing? 'Cause
first.
there's a lot, speculated about what his
What
incentives
kind of
are.
foolishness is
I mean,
this?
his most recent narrative says for the good of humanity. I think that's what.
Yeah,
Let's
I think
listen
the
in a
main thing I
little
learned
more.
was don't pay attention
And
to
we're
the
gonna switch it up.
Like
Give you all a biblical
what they say
perspective.
to one person is just different from what they can say to some other person at the same time, and what they say in public is a third thing entirely. I think you should judge people by their actions, not by their words.
And why are you no longer at OpenAI?
You got that right before I play that. You judge people by their actions, not their words. And a lot of these technology guys, their action is not quite their action. All they're doing is a lot of words. A lot of chewing, but they ain't eating much. So I don't understand what they're talking about when they say they want to be dictator. You ain't gonna be dictatorship. You don't even understand what life you're living. For all we know is Elon Musk and all these other guys are puppets. That's not the real Elon Musk. It's not the real, Sanjay or whoever his name is, or Mark Zuckerberg's. Maybe they are, but believe you me, we know a thing or two about espionage. And that's the law. You don't show yourself if you're so powerful. So let's continue for another 5 more minutes. I'm going to switch it up to biblical understanding of what's happening right now. Before they get all their panties in a bunch, trying to pretend OpenAI, this and that. You understand? God said he made these fools to make a nuclear weapon so they can understand that when time's up, sucker. Ain't no OpenAI, nothing.
Largely for the reason that I mentioned, so I became gradually disillusioned with how the company was going to behave. For example, when I first joined in 2022, at least the people I talked to, my colleagues at the company, there was this general sense of like, of course, we wouldn't actually just build super intelligence as soon as possible. Once we started getting really close, like once we started getting to AIs that could maybe automate the AI research process, we would pause and figure out how to make it safe. That's because we're the good guys, and that's obviously the safe thing you should do rather than just going full speed ahead. But we're worried about other people who might not pause, our competitors, Google, for example. And so that's why we need to be in the lead so that we have that room to do the safe stuff, right? That was sort of like a thing that seemed like maybe like the median position or something among the colleagues I talked to when I was there when I started, including people like Sam, including the leadership. And then by the time I left, I was like, oh man, they're really not going to do that, are they? Like they sort of, partly because this has become more politicized and they've become bigger and been under more scrutiny, people have started asking, like, why are you doing this in the first place if it's so risky? And so they've pivoted their narrative to being more like, actually, it's not that risky, And so, yeah, it seems like they're just going to keep going roughly as fast as they can and hope that they can figure it out on the way.
How did your time at OpenAI come to an end?
I resigned in 2024. I had a nice goodbye party.
What were the reasons you gave for quitting OpenAI?
Hologram.
I thought that we were rationalizing too much and that we need to think more about what would actually be good for the world. I wanted more freedom to publish. So at OpenAI, as it became a bigger company, it became more of a normal tech company with incentives and a PR department and things like that. And so it started becoming more difficult to publish the sort of research that I was doing. For example, those scenarios that I mentioned, couldn't publish those, right? They're just for internal use. I thought that was a shame because right now, most of the world is kind of asleep at the wheel and doesn't really realize what's going on with AI and doesn't really realize what's coming in the pipeline a couple of years from now. And the companies aren't really incentivized to tell people that much about it.
They don't got to tell us.
They say some vague stuff in a sort of hypey way.
The Bible already told us. I bet you remember.
Well, we want to publish the scenario, for example, laying out like here's how things might actually look.
I'm super curious as to what it's like being in a company like that when they...
You don't got to be curious anymore, son. We're going to tell you our biblical perspective of what's really happening. So y'all in it not talking about something that you don't understand.
Of the last Trump, diving right in.
We're going to dive right in.
Before I go in, Elder Lawyer, please explain to the brothers and sisters what to expect week 3 of the Academy before we jump into the topic, because why? This is going to be a deep discussion today.
That's right, deep discussion.
Tonight, are not like anything you've ever experienced, learn in the Bible. Go to historytimes.org to be there.
That's right, y'all.
When it immigration. It's all the Bible. The Babylonian model for infiltration. The first part
Listen,
we're going
y'all.
to talk about. Hey, we're nearing the
Don't
last
worry about
Trump.
open AI,
It's
all
Trump.
this AI cool.
Number one, Trump. What are they keeping from Americans when it comes to international news? That's number one, Trump. Number two, y'all gonna like this, y'all. Esau's confessions. Esau's confessions, quite interesting. Number three, the Trojan horse strategy. These are the 3 points we're going to hit on tonight that will give our brothers and sisters full understanding as to where we are and what's going on prophetically. And
That's right, y'all. Y'all gonna listen in. We're only going an hour today so that y'all can get a perspective from both sides. Okay? Let's continue. So y'all enjoy. Let's continue.
of it, what can we do? Okay, what I like to do is bring real-time prophecy so that when you see the news or see whatever, you don't go with exactly what they are trying to do with the news. You see in between the news with prophecy. And by doing so, prepare. Well, first and foremost, let's go here. Number one, Trump. What's going on? Fair use.
After the United States went to war to stop Iran from advancing its nuclear program, the U.S. is reportedly inking a deal to allow Saudi Arabia to create a nuclear program. The agreement between the two nations supports the creation of a civilian nuclear power program in Saudi Arabia. Relations between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have been strained because of the war with Iran, and there are questions about whether international inspectors would have full access to nuclear sites inside Saudi Arabia, and if all of this could lead to the Middle Eastern nation diverting fuel to create a weapons program. NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba joins us now. Monica, what more can you tell us about what this deal entails and how it was reached?
Well, this is an interesting one, Kate and Christine, because of course it has really important implications, but we don't have the full picture yet of what this entails. From the U.S. side of things, we know, according to a senior administration official, that the Trump administration is expected to announce that it has reached this deal with Saudi Arabia at some point later today. But there are a lot of pressing questions about exactly how it would work, and it appears that American companies would be responsible for building up this new nuclear infrastructure within Saudi Arabia. But this would also have to go to Congress for approval, guys. But what's important about that is that it would be pretty difficult for lawmakers to block it. It would have to meet a pretty high veto-proof threshold in order to do that. But I think there will likely be questions, since this has been something where the leadership of Saudi Arabia has said that they would not seek to try to build a nuclear weapon necessarily with this kind of program. But they have also said that if Iran tries to, that they reserve the right to potentially do that. So all of that will need to be addressed, guys.
And Monica, this is all happening at a time when Iran's nuclear program is at the heart of the current war. So why does the administration believe it's acceptable for Saudi Arabia to develop a nuclear program?
Yeah, and that is the critical question here. And according to Saudi Arabia, again, they want to do this for economic purposes, for energy cost purposes, and to really approach it from that perspective. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked exactly that, and he said that the U.S. would never support anything that would amount to proliferation of a potential nuclear weapon, that is the aim and the goal with respect to Iran, and would also apply to Saudi Arabia in that hypothetical sense. Christine and Kate.
Monica Alba, thank you so much for that.
We thank you for watching, and remember,
And we
stay
think,
updated.
just hold tight, young man, and learn something. All right, y'all heard that?
Y'all heard that?
Elder Lawyer,
Let's continue.
Did you hear that news that came out of nowhere?
I did.
Nuclear weapons as an opposition against Iran. Is this not second Esdras?
That's right. It's the second Esdras.
is this not the prophecies that were given to our people?
And it's about to come to pass.
A little over 500 years before Christ was born. This time was seen by the prophet Ezra. So they're not telling people. Guess what, folks? They're keeping people distracted. Why are they allowing nukes in the Middle East when I thought that countries in the Middle East couldn't build nuclear missiles outside of Israel? And how is it that they're guaranteeing that Congress is going to fast track this when anything that need to get done for our people here is always filibustered or ignored altogether? So don't claim that you don't got no money or claim that you can't do things for the people of your country when out of nowhere you can approve nuclear missiles for who? For the United Emirates, that's right, and Saudi Arabia. That's right, folks. Esau and Ishmael. So what does this mean? First of all, if any of you have anything to say on that, I can give it to you first, Elder Lawyer, then you, Elder Gadget.
No, sir. No, sir. Nothing here.
What about you, Gadget?
Yes, for me it don't make no sense. Like, how does Congress approve nukes in a country that's not theirs? You get me? It don't make no sense. Nukes already there. You get me? There's nothing. What we talking about here? It's foolishness. You with me?
Yeah.
So when the news come on and talking about them approving, it's already there. Everything that is going on right now with that area, and I'm sure you're gonna touch on it. Yeah, not only just prophecy it related to, right? It has really no bearing on the western side of the world and where we are in terms of it is like one of the biggest Hollywood flicks going on right now. No, I'll give you. Let me just digress real quick.
Go ahead.
The western side of the world, from Venezuela all the way up to the United Kingdom, right?
Go ahead.
Does not need Middle Eastern oil.
I know. It's true.
They don't need it.
They don't need it.
Venezuela, the
It's crazy.
in England has oil, Canada has oil, America got oil reserve. There's no need for that. So with the crap going on in the Strait of Hormuz, I would say, oh, the oil price have to go up now, man. It has nothing to do with it. This is a direct strategy. I believe direct strategy to collapse the world economy, to collapse it as we know it right now, to implement a new order, the new world order. That's what they're doing right now. So this talk about Congress
that's exactly what they're trying to do. But the prophecy says otherwise.
It's horse manure.
Well,
total horse manure.
Okay, well, let's put it in
But
context.
they will try.
Of those, and I'm going into the Bible in a minute. Elder
Everything's
Lawyer,
about
grab that
time.
out of Esdras for me. About those bombs, those stars moving around, right? We're going
Let's
straight
hear
to
that.
Esdras.
We're going for an hour,
We're going
y'all.
to the 15th chapter and the 16th chapter of Esdras.
Make sure you subscribe.
Right.
Make sure
Let me
you're
know
all
when you
part
have
of
it,
this game
Because I'm going to
changer
show the prophetic side of this.
prophecies.
But you're right, and you're right on point. This is really not about
Real
whether
time.
or not the oil resources will dry up for the United States, but they're going to make the Americans believe that there's what? That there's no oil reserves as a form of control. Once they bagged the Venezuelan president, they got all the oil they needed. That's why they went there first. But the whole deal is the artificial scarcity can now have them balance the oil prices that keeps the people at bay when it comes to what? Not being able to maximize their earn. Oil controls all of that because why? If those trucks do not bring the oil, guess what? The oil comes through trucks. Think about that. and planes and ships. So it slows everything down, which makes all product left what? Shoot through the roof. So that's why you see all your products getting smaller and smaller, because they're claiming they are what? They are reserving the economy based on a lack of oil reserves. So once they do this
is
and
prophecy,
say, hey,
y'all.
this Middle East thing is happening, they can
It's
shut
happening.
things down, only give you a few gas stations to use or petrol stations to use. And at that point, it lowers everything when it comes to product, including food, which leads to the famine. It's a way of control. Now, the question is,
Do y'all hear that?
why?
Y'all never heard that. It's going to lead to the famine that is coming. Prepare yourself. Try. Build a team. Communicate. Let's set up ourselves for absolute survival, because this is a test.
Doing so much panicking,
What's coming is going to be a test.
in a sense, to try to control the economy. Well, brothers and sisters, this is where we come in.
Right?
God's people
That's
has
right.
awakened.
God's people is back.
And they have no control over the Most High communicating with his people. You
That's the
see
nuclear weapon
baptisms.
they don't know exists.
So they're going to try to use austerity and warfare and all of that as a tool to keep us under subjection, and eventually to beg Pharaoh to feed us.
Hell no. We
That
ain't
we're
never doing
willing
that.
to stay
King's
subjugated
coming.
under their gods,
Moses done did it
if they will preserve our lives alive.
through the Lord
It's because
Christ.
of the awakening, folks. All of this is
But now
going
you
down.
gonna see Christ, y'all. Y'all gonna see him.
We no longer believe or trust them, and I'm going to show you why in a moment.
Just
with
like you
Esau's
see Brother
confessions.
Tupac over here. You gonna see
They
him
run
like that.
out of tricks. And what have I said for years, brothers? Even though I said
Life
this for years.
goes on.
Folks, let me tell you.
All eyes on him.
If they could have destroyed us hand to hand, physically, they would have done it already.
Honestly.
But all the other tactics
We showed them in
they've
boxing
fallen
plenty
for,
times. They can't
which
destroy us.
actually allow them to get rid of
Even
us without us
weapon-wise, they
actually
can't do it.
recognizing it's them.
Because there is a God.
The invisible man.
There is a God.
Eugenics, feminism, I'm going to go into that, Marxism, all these different systems to destroy the family, abortion, all of these things were tactics where if they could get stuff shot in our bloodstreams, then there would be no need to engage us face to face. And it was effective as long as we believed them. As long as we believe them, all of their behind the curtain tactics were effective. But now we don't trust them.
Nope. Hell no.
We don't trust them.
We never
It
did.
seemed like everything we do in believing in these people,
The
the
king
worse
done tell us that we just
the worse
didn't
the
listen.
outcomes are for us. We don't believe their pastors. We don't believe their preachers. We don't believe their theology. We don't believe their Islam. We don't believe their political
Oh, you a
system.
Muslim
so
now.
they go
No
into
more
the
dope
last
game.
resort.
We ain't playing around with that.
Okay?
Got no Islamic scriptures.
And in
any
Israel, the
understanding.
state of Israel, they call it the Samson option.
Well, they go back
If
to
we
our
can't
book.
control the system, we'll put our hands between both of the pillars, Republican and Democrat, and
books.
crash the whole darn thing down.
Well, good luck, son.
If these people won't allow us to rule over them willfully, we'll take ourselves out with them.
Time's up.
Folks, this is what they are agreeing with, brothers and sisters.
Well, they gonna give it up, nigga.
In this agreement with what? With the Middle East. With
That's how love
Saudi
is.
Arabia.
That's how to love.
Because
They gonna
it's
show them
insane
how to love.
to say you want to stop Iran from making a missile, and now you're going to give Saudi Arabia more missiles?
Now, what you gonna do for love, huh?
I need y'all to think. So I need y'all to critically think what's going on, because everything going
What
on
you
there
gonna do?
comes back here.
Do for love.
It comes back here eventually. Elder Lawyer, I need you to grab
They
that
tried everything.
chapter and verse, if you will. Prophecy now. And by the
But
way,
they don't
what did I
need
tell y'all?
love.
Didn't I tell y'all to get from in that area? But until I told you to get from out of those areas until it was time.
That's right. But what they gonna do, huh? What they gonna do for love? They tried everything, but they don't need love. So let's continue on. My brother Elder Akarsha here is saying the prophecies that's coming down the pipeline, according to scripture, is gonna be like to apocalypse now, even worse.
I traveled all around the earth, set up the ministries all over the earth. And in that, guess what? You're going to always have people who tag on to us not truly believing the gospel or understanding the mission because they weren't called from the beginning to understand it. So they'll tag along through tenure to get some level of credibility to try to pull people who believe what we teach into their folly. And I'm going to say that because without us, there is no traction. And I'm saying this, brothers and sisters, that's what you all have to take heed to.
That's right.
Always see the work in front of you and understand who the Most High have called to do what we're doing. And guess what? He's continually, he's continually communicating with his servants who are on the path to get all people in preparation with their white robes before his return.
That's right.
Look at here. What did I tell y'all?
Who else y'all waiting for?
Before I go into that, Elder Lawyer, because I know you're holding that.
Who else y'all waiting for?
Chapter
We don't
and verse,
know
put that out there
who they are.
first.
We don't know who they are.
15 and 28.
15 and 28, I need you to hold that. And I need y'all to check this out as we segue to the next part in one moment.
Don't you worry, you got a new name. It's coming as a God.
Look at
Ain't got
this.
no time for
I've
this.
been checking out international travel. Jordan flight cancellations continue as Iranian attacks disrupt air travel. As of July 21st, as of yesterday.
Shit's going down,
and
man.
they are pinpointing what? The Western, listen here. The Western countries in particular, going back to America, UK, and other areas, it's hard to get back. Travel at all from the airport is shut down, but let alone get back to the West. Now, so you, and so that y'all cannot claim you didn't hear it here first, okay? It's 8:37, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026.
Well, we're at July 26th right now,
I
so
told
y'all
people
listen
years
in.
ago when they was letting troops in the United States, calling them what? Migrants, allegedly. I said, listen, they're bringing in people from other countries to destabilize America because America has guns. Every citizen, the majority of the citizenry is armed, right? I also said, listen, what they're going to do once they strike Iran, the American people aren't going to want to be a part of this because it's Israel's fight until America lose soldiers. And that's going to give them the moral high ground to go full, I'm going to take full metal jacket on Iran. Then they just say, they're publishing it all over the place that they just lost 2 soldiers. And guess what? They dropped soldiers in Iran on foot yesterday. So remember I told y'all, I said this stuff years ago, folks. Their playbook, it's all scripture. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now. Guess what, brothers and sisters? According to the Iranians, you would never guess the highest, listen to this, the highest valued hostages. Who would be the more valued hostages for the Iranians? Americans. This stuff is getting real, folks. And guess what? When they start snatching people who didn't listen and all that, because they have the passports when you go through, and guess what? When you give your passport to anyone, wherever you live overseas, it's automatically given to the police. So they know where all the Americans are who are in particular areas in, that's right, the Arab countries. And these people become high collateral during a time of war.
This is war.
So I try to warn people, and people try to think that, okay, who do he think he is? Hey, the Most High ain't only dealing with him. Listen, it's your life. We're all adults. But guess what? Don't try to blame me when something go down with a full adult who claim that the Most High was dealing with them as to why they're in the scenarios and the situations they're in. Several flights at Jordan's Queen Aliyah International Airport have been canceled amid continuing Iranian attacks. I told
Queen
you
Aliyah
all.
Airport. Aliyah.
Sirens
Queen,
rang
the
out
real
across
Queen
Amman.
Aliyah.
On Monday
That's the
evening,
king's
warning
love right
people
there.
an aerial threat. Jordanian military later said its air defense system intercepted 3 incoming Iranian missiles. No material damage or casualties was caused by the interception, authorities said, without specifying the target of the attack. Okay? Now, guess what? They're also, this is why they're going into the nuclear, really allowing the nuclear missiles that are already there to be shared, if you really want to know, by Saudi Arabia. This is why, folks. Understand this, folks. They understand it's about to get crazy over there. It's about to get crazy over there.
It's going down.
They're doing this because why? Iran is serving flights, the Strait of Hormuz, all of that, and are threatening to knock out the aquifer systems in the deserts where none of these countries can survive because they built it within a desert without the aquifer systems that actually water the deserts. That's what they threaten to do. And Iran claimed, and this is prophecy, we ain't on either side. We just got popcorn. We're just reporting on it according to the Bible. Okay? Let me make it clear. We're not for Iran. We're not for none of them. We're for the Most High. Let me make that clear.
That's right.
But Iran said that they're not walking into any more agreements. They're not at the table, and it's all out war as far as they're concerned. And no one is talking about that and what that means. But the Bible will tell us. So I tell you what, only thing we can do, the same as prophets in the Bible, is tell the people what the Most High said. That's it. And then walk accordingly, according to the Almighty, for those we are responsible for. But the world out there who have heard the truth cannot say they didn't hear what the Most High proclaimed out of the Bible.
That's right. So we're almost there, y'all. We're gonna end this live in the next 5-7 minutes. So the truth of the matter is, we as a community have to really understand the times. The end times are here. Your host, Moses, is letting y'all know that we must come to terms, because at the end of the day, many people are going to get into this test that is going to test the communities that exist right now, especially our community. As the other communities are all going to be rocked. Everything's going to be going crazy in the next couple of years to come. So 2027 and beyond, everything is going to change. You know, with America bringing in the digital currency, trying to do the last bidding of everything that you don't understand that is coming with technology side, pretending they got some kind of fight to put up on this. You're fighting against God. No matter what, he's got better technology. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You feel me? So the truth of the matter is, live your life. Make sure you subscribe. We are going to keep you in the power hour of the best of both worlds. That's right, because we're living this life that you don't understand. We are the source. We're living the best of both worlds, and we're going to bring you the best of both worlds in the kingdom come. Amen. Thank you all for listening. This has been a fun show. So that's what we do. It's brought to you by Clockers Original. That's the brand that is bringing you goldified products and accessories, from glasses to chains to different, watches. Clockers is, in fact, I actually got myself a pair of Clockers. I'm gonna show y'all. That's a surprise. I just remembered. So let me get my Clockers that I got that is gold. And it is so amazing that the company sent me this to sponsor this show, to let y'all know that Clockers is officially giving these gold glasses. That's right, y'all. Clockers. Take a snapshot. Take a screenshot. We live in this life. You can get these glasses all sent to you. It's pure gold. It makes everything works. Makes you look like you are seeing what I'm seeing. You feel me? And what he's seeing, you're also seeing. So welcome to the new Clockers Original. They got goldified glasses and everything that you need. So basically, we are going to end the show. This is also brought to you by H2Go Fix. Get your fix, your health, everything you need with herbalistic ways of life, so you can be ready for what is in the air. Because at the end of the day, life must continue. And you must learn how to get back to survival so we can live life according to autonomy. Thank y'all again for tuning in. It's been fun hosting y'all for this hour. We're going to be doing this power hour. Game changer, best of both world prophecies. We give you all the inside and the outside, just like you're made. All right? Again, my name is Moses Anomaly, and I'm your host with Correlations. Check it out, Correlations. Let's get y'all back let's get the end music of Correlation so that y'all can love it. All right?
For the fans.
For the fans.
What happened to the love?
All praise.
I couldn't help notice your pair. Damn. Y'all should never have it if you hate so much. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop is love. We run the world. That's right. Nobody understand. Legacy, let's take a game back. New time. Check it out. Let me introduce myself. Moses Anomaly. This shit is biblical. Bigger than hip-hop. We about to rip the game up. Rebirth it. Bring it back alive again. Just said the game been dead, but it's all good. 2026, I own this bitch. Now the game got locked. Every hater wanna talk. You think about the game like it's some kind of monopoly. But we ain't playing games no more. Just keep it about to take it to the globe. Top of the world. Take Coca-Cola out of business. We got hip-hop to go remix beverages. Many flavors. to make sure you're hydrated. We ain't playing games. No more time to talk to these haters, I'm a brand. I ain't got time for you, I set trends. That's right, off the top of the top. Time for her panties to get ripped off. Yeah, that's right, beat it up. Ladies baby, now she said, the kid is my son. But I said, the kid ain't my son. Let's do this, but I take care of him, bring him back in the game, so I can lift him up, bring it out, that's in the rain. You know, when Machiavelli the Dawn done told me, he done the seed that will bring back the truth about our life. We run the streets, run the corporate world. We about to take the game up again. Too many haters, we got distribution. We don't need your institution. Jailing my brothers, for what? We about to get the stock market changed up. Game changer stocks. We about to lift up the world. Black everything. We ain't got time for haters no more.
Fuck them all. Watch them fall later. Yeah, we ready to go to war, because we ain't ready for nothing but spiritual warfare. All right? So thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, keep the prayers, be strong, and always fight the good fight. For we live, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. So let's get it on. We casting them down. Let's get it on. We casting them down. Subscribe.